Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into some source material that's really foundational for communication. It's a list called 19 must-know English words with real-life examples.
That's right. And our plan for this deep dive, well, it's not just about running through definitions. We really want to unpack why some of these specific words, using examples from the list, are so, essential.
Essential tools for just navigating daily life, expressing yourself clearly.
Exactly. It's about understanding their practical power.
So think of this as zeroing in on vocabulary that really makes a difference. The kind that doesn't just like add flavor, but fundamentally changes how well you understand people and how well they understand you.
Yeah, a shortcut to more effective communication.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's dive in. We'll pull out a few key terms from this list. Let's start with one that crops up maybe more than we realize in everyday thinking. Assume.
Assume. Okay.
This source gives this example. I assumed you were coming to the meeting, so I saved a seat for you.
Right. Why is assume a must know, though? It feels pretty straightforward.
Well, what's critical, I think, about assume is how much of our interaction is actually built on these
Yeah.
beliefs or expectations,
Huh.
not always confirmed facts.
Ah.
The example itself is polite,
Mm.
right? Shows someone acting based on that assumption. But knowing what assume means helps you spot when someone's working off an unverified idea.
So someone says, I assumed, it's like a little flag for uncertainty, or maybe even that they got it wrong.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It signals that gap between belief and fact, which is, vital information. It's not the same as knowing something for sure.
That makes sense. It flags them maybe. Okay, so let's switch gears to something that leaves no room for maybe. Essential. The
Right.
example here, drinking water is essential for staying healthy. Pretty clear cut.
Yeah, essential really cuts straight to necessity. It's not just important, it's fundamental, non-negotiable for a particular outcome.
Like the water example, basic, but illustrates the point.
Exactly. It identifies those absolute prerequisites, whether for existence, function, success, whatever it is. When you hear essential, you know you're dealing with a core requirement.
So a definite step up from just important or useful.
Definitely. It's something you really can't do without for that specific purpose.
And while sometimes lacking something essential, or even just making a wrong assumption, can leave you feeling not great. Which leads to our next word, frustrated.
Ah, yes. Frustrated.
The source's example, she felt frustrated when her internet stopped working during the interview.
Oh, I can feel that one.
Right. It captures such a common human response, hitting an obstacle, losing control. Frustrated isn't just being annoyed, it's got that weight of feeling blocked, maybe even helpless.
The interview example is perfect for modern life.
It is. And understanding or using frustrated well lets you articulate or pick up on feelings tied specifically to effort being stopped or not being able to act. It's really key for emotional intelligence in conversations. Yeah, you can definitely feel frustrated when you don't have what you require, which, hey, is our next word.
Good transition.
The example for require. This job requires strong communication skills.
Right. So you see, require approaches necessity from like an external demand. It's about conditions or skills that are mandatory for something.
Not just nice to haves.
Exactly. The job example shows communication isn't optional there. It's a prerequisite set by the situation, by the job itself. Understanding require helps you grasp these obligations, dependencies, necessary qualifications.
Whether it's a recipe needing flour or a permit needing paperwork.
Precisely. That external factor is key.
That distinction between internal need, essential, and external demand require is pretty neat. Okay, moving on. How about a word for building connections? Appreciate.
Oh, I like this one.
The example. I really appreciate your help with the presentation.
So appreciate is obviously about gratitude, valuing help, but I think it goes a bit deeper than just saying thank you. How so? It conveys recognizing the worth or the significance of something someone did. The example shows politeness, sure, but appreciate signals a genuine acknowledgement of the impact of that help.
Ah, so it's about seeing the value, not just getting the benefit.
Exactly. It's important for building positive relationships, acknowledging that value. It implies understanding the positive effect.
Adds a nice layer. Okay, let's look at something about process, about time. Eventually, the source says, he eventually found a solution after trying many times.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's all about the outcome over time.
Ah.
It often implies, maybe some difficulty or delay along the way.
Like the example, persistence pays off in the end.
Right. It's key for talking about timelines, processes, results that aren't instant. It puts effort and duration into context.
Yeah.
Tells you something happened after a period, maybe after some struggles. It helps manage expectations about timing.
Gives that sense of resolution after a journey. Okay, the last one we'll pull out. Capable. A word about potential.
Yes.
The example. You're more capable than you think, don't give up.
Capable speaks right to ability, skill, potential. The example is empowering, right? It challenges perceived limits and affirms what someone can actually do.
So it's useful for encouragement or maybe assessing skills.
Definitely. Understanding capable helps you talk about skills, potential, readiness. It describes what someone can achieve, often contrasting it with doubts or limitations.
So looking back at these, assume, essential, frustrated, require, appreciate, eventually capable, and digging in with the examples, you really see they're more than just dictionary entries.
Absolutely. They're tools. They represent key functions in how we think, feel, interact, how we deal with processes.
Belief versus fact, absolute need, reacting to obstacles, external demands, valuing others, timing, ability.
Exactly. That's why they're on a must-know list. They embody core concepts we use constantly. Mastering them gives you a much clearer, more precise way to communicate and understand the world around you.
And really looking at why these specific words are fundamental, like we just did, that feels like the key to actually getting better at using them.
It absolutely is. It prepares you much more effectively for those real-world interactions.
So here's something to think about as you go about your day. Start noticing how often these words assume, essential, frustrated, require, appreciate, eventually capable actually pop up.
Yeah, in conversations, emails, articles, everywhere.
And when you see or hear them, just ask yourself, what job is that word doing right there? What does it reveal about the situation or maybe the person using it? Keep an ear out.